Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Rani Samuel, clinical psychologist and author. Today I've entitled our discussion, What About Jonah? Yes, it's that very same story of Jonah and the whale. And if we dig deeper, it's a story of a prophet. Yes, a prophet is someone who hears from God. And Jonah was a young prophet, and he was given an instruction to go to the city of Nineveh, and was actually heard the voice of God saying, go. So that's very clear in terms of which direction he had to go. And he had to go to Nineveh, this city, which were essentially people that he wouldn't normally associate with, and tell them that in 40 days, devastation and destruction was coming to the city. But what did Jonah do? He went in the opposite direction to Nineveh. Sounds familiar? Well, that is the story of most of our lives at one point or the other. So Jonah, instead of going to Nineveh, went to the city of Tarshish. I had the opportunity of visiting the port of Jaffa, where Jonah actually departed from. And that was the main port, and it was a shipping port and a fishing port. So he had a choice to go in the right direction of his calling. I see many people in my line of work who are often in the opposite direction to their life calling compared to where they should be. And I think that's quite easy to do, because sometimes the demands of what we are needing to do far exceeds our desire to actually do them. I would encourage you to read the 4 chapters of Jonah, because it's a telling story of a man who chooses to go in the opposite direction of his destiny, and there are severe consequences to that. And there's also a path of return. So there's a hopefulness in that story. As a clinical psychologist, I have spent many years working in the intensive care units of various hospitals, ICUs as we call them. And one of the main things I would do on a Monday morning is to dedicate almost half a day to being in these units. Why? Because over the weekend we find the highest rate of attempted suicides, which we call parasuicides. And these can be very serious attempts, so it could be a desperate call for help and a call for attention. And I can tell you, I have met the proverbial Jonahs in these ICU units on a Monday morning. Because by the time somebody comes to this point of taking their life or attempting to do so, you are definitely on the wrong track and on the wrong path. And your car, which is your life, has veered severely off course. So that is a place where I have met so many Jonahs and begun healing journeys that cause them to self-correct and once again come back to their path of destiny. When I was reading the book of Jonah, it's interesting that he had a divine encounter, and the word was so clear. It was like, arise, go to Nineveh. I don't think there could be a clearer instruction than that. He had such a clear divine assignment. I am wondering, what is your divine assignment? Do you have a specific task to complete that will take you deeper into your destiny, that will take you to your next level of purpose? I hope you're not being like Jonah and going into the opposite direction. If you have been called to study a particular subject, if you have been called to reach out to a particular person, don't delay on it. Just know that these are instructions that you would feel very strongly internally, and you need to move in that direction. I like the word go that was given to Jonah, and I think it's given to all of us. But what does that word go mean? It means there's specific steps that need to be taken. And it's a predetermined path, but you have to align and you have to engage with this particular path. And there's a destination for every part of your destiny. It's not unending. At each stage, it's like a book. There are chapters in a book. And every chapter has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And then you flip over and you read the next chapter. You are not going to find your destiny on social media, and you're not going to find your destiny on trends, and not in your emotions, and not in your own vision and perceived needs. So take some time, reflect, and spend quiet time, and be clear in the direction that you need to go. And as far as possible, don't be like Jonah and go in the opposite direction. Because if you do, you will very quickly be caught in a storm. And that storm can devastate your life and all the plans that you have made. Because that's what happens when we go in the opposite direction to that which we are called. From the story, you probably know that Jonah was thrown overboard, landed in the belly of a large fish, which could have been a whale, and there he self-corrected in the pit, in this kind of terrible fish hotel. And there he corrected. They say he repented, means what? He changed his mindset. And he decided that he will fulfill his assignment. I don't want you to land in a storm, in a place that you shouldn't be. But if you are in that place, if you have taken the wrong turn, just remember, like Jonah, he repented and he self-corrected and he went back and did complete the assignment. And the city of Nineveh listened to him. They repented and they starved their way out of destruction and devastation. So you may have an important message for someone, and maybe this is an important message for you, that don't find yourself in a catastrophic story because you chose to deny the real call that you have on your life. Remember, God will move oceans to get you realigned. So what I want to say to you is that when you're supposed to go right, don't go left. It's a beautiful thing to be on a spiritual journey, because at any stage you can change your mindset and be like Jonah and take the path that you are supposed to take. But what about if we just decide to not take that path? And I see this often in my work, where people know what they're supposed to do, and for whatever reason they choose to go in the opposite direction. It's almost they are wasteful with their destiny, and they think that their reason and their intellectual ideas, they formulate their own vision for their lives. And yet we have a divine architect that has the blueprints for you. The word waste is quite a strong word. I decided to go and look up the meaning of waste because I said some people can waste their destiny. The word waste means to squander, misuse, abuse, abandon, and allow decay. How sad is that to have such a concept of destiny that we can allow it to decay? I imagine a building that's in ruins, that has broken windows and absolute neglect and an overgrown garden with time. That's what can happen if you go in the opposite direction to your destiny. So do not let this happen to you. Be diligent about staying not just focused, but hyper-focused. Be undistracted. Do not listen to all the noise and all the news around you, because your destiny is intact despite what's happening around you. God will ensure that help will come to you, that resources will come to you to complete your destiny and to ensure its success. So I encourage you today, do not go in the opposite direction of your destiny. Self-correct and go on the path that has been chosen for you. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time.